Hey there, I'm Dr. Bree, PT, and I'm here to share Dancing Bridge, a great back of the body toner. And it's really a fun movement break that feels good, especially after a long day of sitting at home or in the office. To get started, you'll likely need a yoga block or maybe two. So start lying down on your back. And just if you have a yoga block, put it between your knees so you get a feel for the distance apart that your knees and feet should be. They should be about block distance apart, so your knees should not be spread apart. I want you to roll up into bridge and then roll down. Again, you can remove that block. That was really just there as a prop to give you a feel of how your knees should not be close together but also not spread apart. So slowly roll your spine up and then down into bridge. Think of your spine as a string of pearls and you're lifting up one pearl at a time, squeezing the bottom and the hamstrings, and now roll down, letting one pearl at a time down onto the ground. Again, roll up, one pearl at a time lifts off the ground, and then one pearl at a time sets back down onto the floor. Now, I want you to bring your arms into it. Bring your arms down as your spine goes down, and bring your arms up overhead as your bottom comes up and your spine lifts off the ground. So hands up and bottom up, and hands down and bottom down. Breathe smoothly and steadily. Press down into your heels. Use your bottom and the whole back side of your body as you lift into the bridge. Now, this is your last one like that. This time I want you to keep your hands overhead and then clasp your hands under your bottom. Feel like you're walking your shoulder blades underneath your back. And if this is too much, you can put a yoga block under your hips and skip this little wiggle part here. But this little wiggle is my dancing bridge, and it feels so good in the hip flexors, the front of your hips. Just move your hips side to side, feeling that stretch through the obliques and the front of your hips. Now come up onto your tiptoes and do the same thing. So you walk your feet just about an inch back and come up onto your tiptoes. And then in the same position, pulse your hips up toward the ceiling. Just little pulses, feeling that great work in the back of your thighs, your buttocks, and also the stretch in the front of your hips. Now, place a yoga block under your hips as shown for this next section, or you can place it one height up if you're more flexible, still on your tiptoes, or if you're extremely flexible, only do this if this does not cause pain, you can put your fists under the back of your pelvis as shown, only if it does not cause pain. Lower your left heel to the ground and then kick one leg up, and then lower your right heel to the ground, kick your left leg up. Deep stretch, big strengthener. Now, release your hands, still in that bridge position, do some hip circles. So again, if you had a block under your hips, remove it now so you can do your hip circles. Go the other way, reversing directions of your hip circles, feeling that stretch in the front and the work in the back. Now roll down one vertebra at a time, setting that string of pearls down on the floor. Flop your knees back and forth, and then just hug your knees to your chest, pulling your knees in, feeling that lengthening in your spine, and just breathe deeply. We're going to move it to the front of the body now, do a little bit of ab work. So go ahead and rock back and forth a little bit and get ready to lift your pelvic floor, pull in your low tummy, bring your right leg up and then your left to join it, and straighten one leg at a time. Exhale as you straighten the leg. Breathe out. Breathe out. Keep your tummy pulled in, your low abs pulled in, low abdominal muscles. And you can either stay with one leg at a time or, as I'm showing here, move both legs forward and then pull them back in. Exhale as you straighten your legs forward. And inhale as you bring them in. So exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Make sure also to keep your lower abs drawn in and don't let your low back overly arch away from the floor. You want to keep it in a neutral position. That was your last one. Now we're going to move into some bicycle oblique crunches. Low abs pulled in. Exhale as you crunch. Bringing the opposite elbow to knee. Exhale as you crunch. Keep the low abs pulled in. And if you have diastasis recti or diastasis recti, be sure to avoid this exercise. Continue to do the one we were just doing. Just listen to your body and don't do this if it feels like it's making your separation. Certainly stop doing it if it feels like it's making your separation be aggravated. So you want to usually avoid crunches if you have that separation in the abs. So keep going, couple more. Exhaling as you crunch. Lower abs pulled in as you crunch. Really pulling in with those low abs. And hug the knees to the chest again. And release. So rock your pelvis back and forth a few times and then go right back into another round of our bridges. So arms up as your hips lift. Arms down as your hips go down. Breathing steadily. I like to exhale as I come up into my bridge and then inhale when I come down. Feet flat on the floor, grounded right under your knees, and then clasp your hands underneath your bottom, lift up, walk those shoulder blades underneath your back. Come up onto your tiptoes again and do your wiggle hips, where you're wiggling side to side and just feeling that nice stretch. This is the dancing bridge, feeling that nice stretch in the front of your hips. And then in the same position, pulsing up, again, feeling that stretch in the front of your hips and the work in the entire back of your legs, the bottom, the hamstrings, the calves. Your heels are still lifted off the ground. Now again, you can have the block under your hips. Just let your hips rest on the block. Or you can do the full version as I'm showing, still on my tiptoes, hands in fists underneath the back of my pelvis, left foot flat on the ground, right leg lifts toward the ceiling. Now right foot flat and left leg lifts toward the ceiling. So again, you could have done that on your block. Only do the full version if it does not cause any pain. Now, hip circles, circling your hips. Your feet can be flat or lifted, heels lifted as I'm showing. Reverse directions, going the other way. Really nice mobility in your hips and spine. And heels down, roll down. Hug your knees to your chest. Just rocking a little bit. And now, last bridge move is butterfly bridge. Knees apart and then together. Exhale as you bring those knees together and lift your hips. This is a great strengthener for your inner thighs and your pelvic floor, as well as the entire back side of your body. So your knees go apart and then come together, apart and come together. We're going to end with a twisting stretch just to release the low back. Hopefully you don't have any pain in that area, but this stretch feels really great regardless. Just enjoy this, savor this stretch, and breathe deeply as you bring that. Right now I have my right knee coming across my body to the left, and my head is looking in the opposite direction as my bent knee. Breathe deeply. And then very carefully come up, recenter yourself by lifting your hips, and then bring the opposite knee across your body and look in the other direction. Breathe deeply and just relax into this stretch. Try to keep both shoulders on the ground as much as you can. If this is too much, you can have your knee, the bent knee, propped up on one of your yoga blocks rather than all the way to the ground. Just listen to your body as always. Be careful. Don't do anything that causes pain. And have fun with it. This should feel good, juicy, and delicious. And again, a great movement break to fit into your day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.